Hey y'all, it's me Mesia, and I am back. I'm here with another video, and today I want to talk about young people to stand up and not be afraid to talk about who God is. So young people, children, young adults, kids, however, whichever you classify yourself as, I want to say, don't be afraid to talk about who Jesus Christ is. Don't be afraid to talk about how good God has been to you. Don't be afraid to talk about your encounter, your experience with God, because the people need to know. The thing is that the enemy is trying to destroy, trying to kill, trying to take the young people out. He is trying to do it however he can. He is getting into the young people's minds. He is getting in their minds, making them do all types of things, making them think crazy. It's just crazy the things that he has come up with. The enemy knows that if the young people can get together, and spread the word, spread about Christ, spread how God, the miracles, the wonders, the signs and wonders of God is, that he's going to lose anyway. The enemy can never win. But I just want the young people to understand that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be ashamed of it, because God is with you. God is always with you. If you look about it and if you think about it, if you think about the story of David. David was a young boy, and he went in the name of the Lord. He wasn't afraid. He was not afraid. He was young, but he was not afraid. He knew that he had God on his side. He had a relationship with God. He had an encounter with God. He knew who God was. He wasn't afraid. He knew that if he would go in the name of the Lord, that he would defeat this big giant. And that's how the young people have to look at it, is that we are going up against a big giant. The enemy is this whoever, and it's trying to take our minds. It's trying to cause us to commit suicide. It's causing us to believe in other religions. It's causing us to just think crazy things that is not of God. And as young people, sometimes it may be hard. It's up to you though. And a lot of young people say that it's hard. I can't live like a Christian. I can't live the right life. I can't live a life that's pleasing to God because, I still want to have fun. I still want to do those type of things. But as a Christian, as a young Christian, you still can have fun. I don't know where they get this from, that you can't have fun and being a Christian. You can. You can have so much fun. It's fun going to church. It's fun reading about the Bible and reading about God and knowing who he is. That is fun. It's fun hanging out with other people. And as you grow as a Christian, as you continue to grow as a young Christian, your other friends are going to fall off, and it's all the work. It's all a part of growing. And you have to just know that. You have to know that it's something that you want. Yes, the enemy's going to try his best to do it. That he's going to try his best to stop us. But as young people, we need to come together. We need to stop being afraid and stand up and come in the name of the Lord, because that's who God made us. We can't be afraid to say what God is telling us. Now is that God is bringing up younger people to do his work, to do his will. We got to be about our Father's business, and that's what we got to do. Even the older people, take advice from the older people because they are wise, but don't allow older people to make you feel like just because you're young, you can't do this or you can't do that. As long as you have that relationship with God and that prayer life and that communication with God, God will give you the instruction that you need to do what it is that he has called you to do. The Bible says, let no man despise thy youth. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example in all believers, in the word, in conversation, in charity, which means love, and in spirit, in faith, and in purity. And that's what the youth have to do. We have to let no man despise thy youth. We have to be the example. We have to be the example to all believers, to know that when we talk, when we express in our love, we be in our spirit, and by our faith, that we can do this. So We can do this. Young people, you can be a Christian. You can be a young Christian. You can have fun. You can abstain from sex. You can abstain from going out to the club. You can stop drinking. You can stop smoking. You can stop doing the things. You can stop living a sinful life. You can do that. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And it hurts my heart. And I know that, there's nothing that only thing I can do is pray, but I'm praying that my generation comes to realize who God really is. I'm praying that they have a true encounter with Him. I'm praying that they really know that God is real, that God is always and will always be real, and that God is always there for them. God has never turned His back. He will always be in the same place. Even if they're believing in other religions and believing in other gods, they're idolizing other things, God will always be there for them whenever they come back. All they have to do is repent. And it's the thing is that we have to separate ourselves from this world and stop doing these worldly things. We have to do this. Love not the world, neither the things of the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Okay? All that is in the world, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but of the world. And we have to get that in our head. We have to get in. Young people, we got to get in our word. We got to read. We got to pray. And we got to worship. We got to have some encounters with God. We want God to speak to us. We want God to do some things for us. We got to do what it is that we're supposed to do. We have to do it. And we have to stand up to be able to show other people that, God is real. And just because you had a bad experience at a church, or you had a bad experience here, a bad experience there, all places are not the same. Young people, please get that out your head. All churches are not the same. Yes, you have to pay your tithes. Yes, you have to be a functioning church member. Yes, you have to do those things. Yes, you have to honor the man or the woman of God, whoever God has put in the head of your church. It's what you have to do. Stop listening to all this other stuff, because it's really not true, and it's the enemy. It's putting it in your head. You have to pay your tithes. Pay that 10%. God has given you much more, and He's only asking for 10%. And it's okay. Give Him a little more than 10%. God has done so much for you, and you upset about 10%. It's not your business what happens once you give that 10%. If you give that 10% from your heart and you're not giving it grudgingly, you have done your job. Leave it at that. Pray about it. Whatever. It's done. It's nothing else you can do. And I wish the young people would get it out their head that the church is about money. You might have that bad experience at this church where they, all it's about money, but all churches are not the same. All pastors, all preachers, all your brothers and sisters in your congregation, they are not the same. You pray to God, you seek God, you ask Him to send you to a place where you're supposed to be. Send you to a place where you can be free, where you can get help in the places in the areas where you need help, where they're not going to just, use your gift just so they can get the people up, where they're going to truly, really do some surgery on you. The people really going to, help you get out of the mess that you're in, so you can be free, so you can be delivered from all that crazy stuff, so you can be able to stand up, so you'll be able to, fight when it's time to fight this enemy, so you'll have some word in you, so you can have these things the tools that you need to fight the enemy, because the devil ain't playing with us. He never, he always been at it. But now as time goes by, he's really not playing. And young people have to understand that, look, it's time to stop. At a time in your life, it's time to stop playing. It's time to grow up. It's time to just do the things that God has called us to do. So if you need that, if you want to change, you don't know how to change, go to God in prayer. Go to Him. Ask Him to help you get to a place where, you want to live for Him. Ask Him to send you to a place and to a church home where, this is your church home, that these people are your family, and they're going to help me get out of this mess, that they're going to help me to be able to do the things of you. Go into worship. You have to worship so you can really feel the presence of God. Invite Him in so that, you'll be able to know who He is. But young people, don't be afraid to talk about Christ, to talk about God. Jesus, He has shed His blood for us, and we have to be thankful and grateful. We have to tell people about the things that God has done for us, how he brought us out of whatever we're being in, and how real God is. So young people, do just that. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God has your back. Think about David. Think about how God had David back, okay? Think about that and do what it is that God has called you to do. Don't be afraid, young people. The enemy is not playing. He is not playing. So do what it is that he asked you to do. Be encouraged. Pray to God and let God just use you. You be that vessel and just let him use you. So people, just do it. Don't be afraid. I can't stress that enough. I can't say it enough, because it's just crazy how the young people are just everywhere. So just keep young people in prayer. Pray for them. Pray for yourself, and just pray for our generation. Pray for the generations to come as well. So I will talk to you all on the next video. I will be praying for you, and I thank you all for watching. Bye.